We're joined now by senior White House reporter Kevin Liptak and CNN national security correspondent Natasha Bertrand. Natasha, to you first with this exclusive reporting. I mean, this is a big deal. The UK is arguably the closest ally to the United States when it comes to intelligence sharing. What else do we know?
Yeah, Pam, it's a really significant rupture here. Essentially, what we're learning is that the UK is no longer sharing intelligence with the US about these suspected drug trafficking vessels in the Caribbean because it does not want to be complicit in the US military's strikes on these drug vessels and believes fundamentally that the US military's use of force against these vessels violates international law, according to multiple sources that we spoke to. Now, previously, the UK had been happy to help the United States locate and interdict vessels that were transiting the Caribbean that appeared to be trafficking drugs. But the key difference, of course, is that it was helping the Coast Guard intercept those vessels, arrest those on board, seize the drugs, and allowing these individuals to have some semblance of due process. But now the U.S., of course, has started striking these boats unilaterally with military force, killing everyone on board. The total now for number of people killed is around 76. And we're told that the UK is deeply uncomfortable with that, and they believe that it is pretty blatantly illegal.
All right, Shalom. I'll give God praises to Yahweh, Shem, Yahweh, Shabbat, Shara, Kakodash. The bonus to the others from Pulse, great millstones, of the Christians, sincerity, citations to the hopeful that is spread to work exerted. This is going to be another video titled, Your Mother Should Be Sore Confounded. She that bare you should be ashamed. All right, now this is going to Jeremiah, the 50th chapter. All right, now the clip you just watched was a news, clip that was going into how UK suspended intelligence. UK suspended sending U.S. intelligence, regarding like Caribbean intel, right? Because they deem the strikes that U.S. is taking on these different boats, they call it drug boats, illegal, right? And this goes back to the reason why they did that, because they felt ashamed, right? And that's prophecy that goes back to Jeremiah 50. Now, you might think this is talking about ancient Babylon, right? But you have to. This is a prophecy, all right? Prophecy means to say before. To prophesy, you say before, okay? So this is not a prophecy against ancient Babylon. This is a prophecy against this modern day Babylon, right? America is known as Babylon the Great, all right? So this is Jeremiah 15:12 reads, "Your mother," okay. Now in order for you to understand the chapter, in order for you to understand this verse, you have to understand what the word mother means. All right, this particular verse. Your mother should be sore confounded. Now, America, how did America came about? Okay. It got its independence in, I believe, 1776, right? Yep. 1776, all right. The Americans declared its independence from Great Britain, okay? Because what America was, they were known as the 13 colonies of Great Britain, okay? But when they declared their independence from Britain, they became their own independent nation. They became the United States of America, all right? So going back to Jeremiah 50, the mother is Great Britain, okay? UK, right? Should be sore confounded. She that bare you should be ashamed, right? Because Great Britain bare America, right? we became a nation. The American, I'll say we, but the American became a nation from Great Britain. Okay, from UK. And well, I'm just going to that word ashamed. Embarrassment, basically, right? Be reproached, be embarrassing. Okay. Behold, the hindermost of the nations should be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert. Okay. I'm gonna get more. I'm gonna go to Revelation 17 to just bring out that the point that great UK is a mother, right? That bear the US. Okay. All right. So this is going to the beast, right? And the woman. Okay. So I'm start here. Revelation 17 now reads, and here is the mind which has wisdom. The seven heads are seven mountains on which the woman sitteth. Now the seven heads represent seven nations, and the seven mountains represent governments, power. Okay, so the seven heads, are the Greek, okay, the French, okay, because these are all Edomite nations, right? These are all Edomite nation. Okay, so the Greek, the French, the Spanish, Great Britain, all right, Germania Major, Germania Minor, okay, in the Spanish, right? These are all Edomite nation, right? And there are seven kings, five are fallen, and one is, okay? Remember, these are the five are fallen that represent those nations of the seven that had a great empire, that had a vast empire, okay? That was once an empire, all right? All right, and the five that are fallen represent the Greek, the Spanish, Britain, Germania Major, Germania Minor. All right, because these was one nation that was known as an empire. Okay, and one is, and the other is not yet to come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. All right. And the B said was, and it's not even he is an eighth in this other seven and goes into perdition. Now this represents um, America, right? He's of the eighth, okay? He is the eighth, right? Represent America, all right? And there's other seven represent what others of Great Britain. It came out of Great Britain, all right? And go into perdition. Now let's go back. Let's go down to here, right? Which goes back to which proved my point that America came out of Great Britain, right? So let's go down here to this Revelation 17:6. It says 17:16. It says, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire." Now this goes back into the nuclear. Okay, so the 10 horns, these nations that possess, all right, which represent NATO, the allies of America, which they're gonna hate the whore, right? They're gonna make her desolate. They're not going to destroy her. Okay, they're going to destroy America. All right. So when we do this, I believe that Britain gonna have a peace and destroy America. All right. We're already seeing signs. Okay, these signs are going to become major events. Okay, or these signs are just like basically it's just minor things, right? But ultimately it's gonna play a huge it's gonna play a huge role in prophecy. So I'm gonna close here right now. I'm gonna praise to you. How about Hashem now? Shabbat Shalom.